Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video of VictorVectorGarage. So today we're going to be talking about lighting upgrades. And I think we're going to be taking it from these lights to these lights. So let's get into it. So when you're going to be working in your garage like I plan to be, both doing Jeep projects as well as house projects and yard projects, one thing that's really important is having good lighting in your garage. If you don't have good lighting, then you're always fighting. You got to put up auxiliary lights, or you're going to have something else set up to try to get you the lighting that you need to be able to see what you're doing. These lights right now are pretty pitiful. They're the same lights that are mounted on the exterior under our patio in the front, and they're fine for outside if you just want some nice little mood lighting and stuff or something, just enough to be able to light it up when you're just chilling out on the porch. However, when we're talking inside the garage, I really need a bright environment so I can see what I'm doing. When I'm gonna be welding, fabricating, if I'm gonna be putting together shelves or anything like that, I really am gonna need better lighting. So what I'm gonna do is take some lessons learned from what I did in my previous garage and apply that forward. So the product that I decided to go with is a 1x4 foot low profile linear light. So basically what this is the brand is Juno. I got these from Lowe's. I can't recall what the brand was that I got when I went through Home Depot before. Might have been, I think it's Commercial Electric or something. But these panels worked out really good. And I didn't try to go for the cheapest brand out there. These guys I think were about $100 a piece. With that, I know that they're going to be good quality, and I think one of the biggest things that you'll find out with these flat panel lights is that you really want to make sure that you have something that has a good mounting bracket that goes up against the ceiling, because otherwise what happens is the frame of the flat panel light will start to sag away from the ceiling. It just kind of doesn't look that great. So the ones I got before were good quality, so I want to make sure I invest the right money into this since I'm going to be doing a lot of work out here and I want to make sure these lights are good. The other thing that I know is that I want to have some variability for the color temperature of these lights. So what's nice is this comes with a 3 CCT. This has 3500K, 4000K, and 5000K. I believe that I was running the 4 or 5000K in my old garage, and I plan to do the same thing here. And then also this has some dimmable capabilities to it. So if I swap out the switch, I can actually make it dimmable for these lights. So that's kind of cool. That's another additional feature. Now talking about what some of the other specs are on this guy. So let's go ahead and look at this. So depending on the lighting performance that you choose based on the different temperature range, if you go with the 3500K, you're getting 4270 lumens. For the 4000K, you're getting 4560 lumens, and for the 5K, you're getting 4350 lumens. So basically, if you're running the 4000K, you're gonna get your best light output. And so that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, but I'm gonna play with the different settings and see what I like for the lighting in the garage and the brightness versus the color temperature. And then one other thing is I do believe this actually comes with 2 different color frames. So you can have either a white or a black frame. So that's kind of cool. My plan is to put up a black frame, I think. So swapping out lights like this is pretty easy when you're talking that you already have something that's wired up. I've done this multiple number of times. It's really not too difficult. The biggest things, you need to make sure you don't have power to that circuit when you're working on it. For me, simple enough. These are running off of a switch. I can just hit that switch off. As long as I don't hit that switch while I'm working on it, that circuit's gonna remain de-energized, so I don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, you know, if you're not confident with this, find somebody that is, talk to an electrician and have them set it up for you. But for myself, I've done this enough times. It's pretty straightforward. They should also supply you with all the wire nuts or any other type of connections that you need. So first off, let's go ahead and unbox this, take a look and see what all we got in here. All right, so first thing we got is our mounting plate that goes up to the ceiling. This is how the light will be able to attach into it. And then taped inside, you also have hardware that will be required for this. Then we have the flat panel light. Then they also provide you with instructions for how to go about doing this. Shows you how to interchange your white versus black trim. So pretty straightforward. You can see on the back side here, there's these little black tabs that go over. Basically, if you want to have the white trim instead of the black trim, what you'll do is just unfold those and then that'll pull off and then that'll expose that white trim. But like I said, I think that the black is going to look good up there. And then for your color temperature right here, you have a switch that you can go ahead and cycle through. So with that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and look over the instructions. I'm gonna go ahead and pull down these lights and start getting ready to throw this one up. Every light that is up may have a different mounting method. So you're gonna have to figure out how you need to take down your existing lights. Before you touch any of this wiring, you really wanna make sure that you have your circuit off. So either if you have a light switch or a circuit breaker that you need to throw, you wanna go ahead and do that. I would highly suggest throwing the circuit breaker before you start messing with any of these connections. And that just leaves the J-box open with the wires only in there. All right, so the next thing after I got those fixtures down, all the bracketry and everything else, what I did was I wanted to make sure, because I know that these are in line with each other and they should be the same distance from the wall. So I wanted to make sure that I do have a plumb line set so that both of these panel lights are parallel to each other and not slightly twisted one to another. So I want them to line up very straight. So what I did was I put a laser level up here on my toolbox, and I have this laser running between the centers of both of these boxes. I'm gonna go ahead and use this line to be able to make sure that I set up my brackets in the correct locations. Now, one other thing I didn't explicitly mention when I started taking down the lights is that I do have a floor light set up over here, so that way I do have lighting, because if you're trying to do this in a dark garage or if you're in the middle of the night, it's gonna really suck trying to see what you have going on. Now also, this bracket here has two different sides to it. So one side has a hinge, or what they're calling the hinge, and the other is the latching side. I'm gonna go ahead and set up so the hinge faces towards the garage door opening. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to center this up as best as I can on this circuit box. I'm gonna line up the two center slots on this, and then I'm gonna mark where I want my fasteners in the four corners to go. All right. Now, if you're like me, you wanna double check everything, make sure it all looks good before you drill. Measure twice, cut once mentality. All right, so now the last thing that we're gonna do before we go ahead and drill these with everything confirmed is I'm gonna go ahead and come up here and I'm just gonna make sure I'm not gonna end up hitting a stud with any of these drills, because if I do, then that's gonna change up what I need to use. These T-nuts will not work. Yep, and so it happens to be that my joists run this way and I do not hit these, so we're good to go ahead with that drill. So we'll go up, take our 1/2" drill bit. I just have a wood bit here. And I'm gonna go ahead and drill these guys in. All right, so with our holes drilled, ready to go ahead and install the bracket up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and install the bracket with the T-nuts, and we wanna make sure that the T-nuts are facing upwards away from the flat side. So that's where the little bracket is. You're gonna wanna make sure that, again, the wings will fold down into the body of the screw back towards the mounting plate. You wanna have your screw heads exposed, so this way when we go ahead and push this up in, it will go ahead and engage, and we can go ahead and tighten down these screws and it'll all pull in nice and tight. So again, just gotta remember, I'm gonna put my hinge out towards the entryway, and then the latch will be on the other side. So again, it'll hinge out and face that direction towards the opening of the garage. So with that 1/2" hole, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and feed each of these in. And as you're feeding these up, you're gonna wanna make sure you give them a nice good firm push all the way through. And you wanna make sure you hear that those two legs expand out. If they don't, then you haven't fully set them. Like that. Give it just a little light tug down just to make sure everything is set. And do one more little lift, make sure everything is in good position. And then we can go ahead and get our impact with a Phillips head or a Phillips screwdriver. Tighten these in. And because I don't want to run this too hard in, I'm just going to go ahead and take a screwdriver, make sure these are nice and snugged up tight, but not too tight. All right, so with everything prepped up on the ceiling, we're good to go ahead and bring this guy up. Now the one thing that you want to do before you do so is you're going to want to unscrew this plate here. So you just need to remove this screw. You're going to slide it out and then it'll lift off. You'll need to pull out one or multiple of the breakaway ports here. I just broke off one and I threaded both the black and white wire as well as the ground wire through, so that way I can go ahead and make my connection up there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the two white brackets here that are just the simple slotted angle brackets. We're gonna go ahead and hook those onto the hinge side, and then we're gonna go ahead and hook on our tethers to the other side, and that's what's gonna keep this light kind of suspended up while we do all the connections. So we'll go ahead and... All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take these slotted angle pieces, we're gonna go ahead and bring them in, slide them over the bracket, and make sure that you engage the safety lock mechanism. And then we're gonna hook up our tethers to the little holes on the outside edge of these brackets, or inside edge. And then we're good to go ahead and make our connections. All right, so our next step, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be connecting the blacks to the black, white to white, and the copper to the green ground. So I've got my 3 supplied wing nuts or wire nuts. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make these connections. So we'll go ahead and start off with doing the black here. Then what I like to do, give a nice tug backwards, make sure that all 3 wires are nice and secure in there. I'll work on to the white next. Again, give it a nice tug back on all the wires. Good connection, and then the ground. All right, so that's gonna wrap up everything that we gotta do for connections here. I'm gonna go ahead and hang the other light, get that one set up, do all the connections, follow through everything what we did, and I'll come back, show you the final steps from here right after I finish that up. So I'll go ahead and flip on my light switch or flip my circuit breaker and then the light switch. And we can come up here and we can go ahead and play with the different light settings. So I'll go ahead and tuck some of the wires up in there just preliminarily so I can reach in and I can see this is our 3500, this is our 4000, and our 5000. So as you can see, I got my tether cables up here. What I'm gonna do is gonna go ahead and make sure that my wire nuts and everything, all my electrical is gonna go ahead and tuck up inside of this box once I've pushed this up. And then what I can do is I'm gonna open up these 2 little latches on either side, make sure that my tethers are out of my way, go ahead and bring it up, and then I can go ahead and engage my latches, just like so. Now there is one last step here that you can do if you choose to. So if you don't care for the little bit of white exposure, what you can do is they supply these little rubber grommets that can slide over top here. So what we'll do is we'll sort of just manipulate these guys to go over. Might be a little bit tricky, but they should allow for those little teeth to go up over, and those will cover them up. All right, guys, so we got the lights up and everything is looking killer. I gotta say, these are immensely brighter. These are really something that I enjoyed my last garage build, and I thought this would do good again here. Thing that I did a little bit differently from what I had in my previous garage is I kept them close to the walls. What that helps do is the walls then illuminate that light back out into the room. So unfortunately, because I already had dedicated light locations, I didn't want to run new wires since I do have a floor above the garage, so I cannot just get up into the crawl space and be able to rerun wires. I would have had to fish wires through, and since I have that beam over the center of the garage, I don't know if I can fish through, so I figured let's go ahead and just put these in their existing locations, and I think it's gonna work. Right now, I'm running on the 4000K setting, and I really like the lighting color to it. The color's good, it's a little bit softer than that 5K, and I feel like it does do a really good job getting the brightness into this room. Now, I do also have the windows on the garage door, so that does help out a lot with lighting from the other side, but I do have future plans to put some other lighting over on this other side beyond that beam, just to get a little bit more illumination, total garage versus just being over here. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. If you have any questions, please drop those down in the comments below. I will go ahead and shoot some links to the products that I installed here from the Lowe's website. I really appreciate all you that are subscribers and returning back to the channel. I know I took a little bit of a break. I've been hammering out a bunch of videos, trying to get that content back up and going. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the garage series so far. If you're not a subscriber and you are interested in knowing a little bit more about how I plan to organize my garage, or you're interested in what I'm doing with Project Vector, and my fiance's new Jeep, then please stay tuned. Think about subscribing. But with that, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for today. We are Victor Vector Garage. We are taking on these builds and the trails of both direction and magnitude. All right, have a good one. Catch you next time.